he was just putting out a communication, or he was just expressing an opinion. That is not the role of a speaker. Because if by any means, if he was just expressing an opinion on that fateful day called 7th of October, then the opinion that he expressed had implications. So did he think about the implications of the opinion he was expressing, or the communication he was giving? Or he just decided that I will just give communication and to hell with the implications. I don't care. Is that what he's telling us? So he will sit on that high table called the speakership table and just express his opinions, make communications, and doesn't care about the implications thereafter. Please, please, please. Mr. Bagbin is way above that. Because in his own words, as I am reading here, he says he has been practicing since 1982. In his own words. And so if... It's a statement of fact. Yes, but I'm just acknowledging that it's a statement of fact based on his own words. And so he cannot tell us that having risen to the position of being Speaker of Parliament, he can sit on the speaker table and express opinion and communication, and he doesn't care about the implications. I don't think he can say that. And it is so wrong if he ever says that. Again, he also knows, or he ought to know, that in Ghana, there are separation of powers, but at the same time, there are checks and balances.
Sure.
And so, when the president nominates somebody to become Chief Justice, the President of the Republic has done the nomination, but the checks and the balances says that that person should come and sit before Parliament for Parliament to vet the person. And so you can have somebody who has been nominated to be Chief Justice come and sit down, and people who have not gone to law school before, but by the fact that they are MPs, can question the person and ask the person questions. Do you know we have seen that in our country? Mm-hmm. And it is fine. The president sits in the Jubilee House and elects people to become ministers of state. And those ministers of state have to come and sit before parliamentarians. Sometimes, some of the people, if they nominate one minister, his portfolio is so high. And if you see somebody who is a member of parliament, may not have so big a portfolio, but that person has the right to question that minister. Why? It is because of the checks and the balances. So if I read from the speaker, and I listen to the speaker as saying that despite these provisions, the courts are replete with debates and proceedings of parliament. Most worrying is these proceedings are initiated by some members of parliament and even leaders of parliament who ought to know better. Parliamentarians who are to be loyal to parliament rather run to the Supreme Court at the slightest opportunity to use the Supreme Court to undermine parliament. My goodness. My goodness. This is disrespectful. I call out the speaker that for him to say this, that some members of parliament are going to the Supreme Court to undermine parliament. It is disrespectful. The speaker is disrespecting the people of Ghana. And I call him out. I am young, I am a small boy, but on this platform today, I call out the speaker that this he said is disrespectful. Because when people go to the Supreme Court with issues concerning the Constitution, they are not undermining parliament. They are seeking constitutional interpretation to make our jurisprudence better. Indeed, the speaker himself in his statement, he quoted Tufor versus Attorney General. How did Tufor versus Attorney General come about? It came about because somebody went to the court to go and challenge something that was happening in parliament. In parliament. The case that he quotes in his statement, it is as a result of a case that happened in parliament. So while you and I know very well the circumstances of Tufor versus Attorney General, it was happening in parliament. And he has the audacity to quote that case and refer to it as part of our country's jurisprudence, and somebody goes to the same Supreme Court seeking constitutional interpretation about another article and an action that has taken place in parliament, and he raises issue with it and says that person is undermining parliament. Excuse me, Mr. Speaker. I finished.